Is it hard for you to be different? When people look at you like, "Oh, well, you're a Christian. You're different." Or is that something that you've grown accustomed to? Let's talk about that for a minute. Samuel chapter 8, we read something that's shocking. Samuel is old now, and he has two sons, Joel and Abijah, and they don't walk with the Lord. This is a carbon copy of Hophni and Phinehas that Samuel grew up with, Eli's sons. And for some reason, this godly man's sons don't walk with the Lord. And yet, Samuel appoints them to be judges over Israel. It's inexplicable. First of all, he doesn't see his sons like everybody else does. This is very common. It's easy for us to have blind spots when it comes to our own kids. We think, oh no, they're fine, they're cute, they're whatever, but they don't always walk with the Lord. And Samuel didn't see that. In fact, it wasn't Samuel's job to appoint them as a judge, but he did it anyway. Nepotism is a sin that most leaders begin to commit when they get older, and they just don't see it. And when I say sin, I mean they put a relative in a spot that they wouldn't normally get, wouldn't earn, or shouldn't get. There's times where they do deserve it, and that's not a problem, but oftentimes you're like, wow, what were they thinking? The people of Israel say, we don't want your sons. They don't walk with the Lord. In fact, give us a king. Well, Samuel's very offended by this because, of course, his sons are rejected, and God says, look, they've rejected me. Don't blame yourself. But God says, look, tell them that if they get a king, kings are takers, not givers. They're going to take your sons for battle. They're going to take your money. They're going to take this. Kings are to be served, not serve. That's how it works in the world. It shouldn't be this way, but it is this way. The people said, we want a king. We want to be like the other nations. That was their reason. Now, this is the problem. It wasn't that being a king, having a king was the problem. In fact, God said eventually this will happen. But their reason. And they literally say, we don't care, we want a king. We know they're going to take, we're going to serve them. We want the king to fight our battles for us. Really? Like God had never won a battle for them? Over and over and over and over, God had won those battles. And yet they say, well, we want to be like the world. We want to have a king and, that prestige. What area of your life do you say, I want to be like the world? I don't think that God can provide for me without compromising here. That's tough, isn't it? Because you're already thinking of it. The Holy Spirit brings it to mind. He brings it to my mind, and it makes us stop and say, God, you are enough. And if I really believe, and if I really trust you, I'm not going to compromise in this area of my life. I'm not going to be like the world in this area of my life. So I'm going to challenge you this morning. Do some business with God in that area of your life.